The massive alien ships appeared without warning on a quiet Tuesday morning. They simply materialized above every major city on Earth, their dark hulls blocking out the sun like artificial clouds. The world stood still, watching and waiting. Major Tom Parker stood at the Pentagon's command center, his eyes fixed on the multiple screens showing the alien vessels. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared him for this moment. Around him, generals and admirals whispered in hushed tones, their faces pale with concern. "Sir, they're broadcasting on all frequencies," announced Lieutenant Rogers, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "They want to speak to Earth's leaders." The main screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, humanoid creature with metallic-looking skin. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural blue light as it began to speak in perfect English. "People of Earth, I am High Commander Reed of the Galactic Council. Your planet has been selected for integration into our civilization. Resistance is futile. Your technological level has been assessed as Category D, primitive. You have one Earth day to surrender and accept our guidance." Parker's jaw clenched. He'd seen the classified files, knew what humanity was truly capable of. But now wasn't the time to reveal their hand. President Wilson, speaking from a secure bunker, responded diplomatically. "We request time to discuss this with all Earth nations. Surely, such an important decision requires proper consideration." The alien commander's expression remained unchanged. "You have one day. To demonstrate our power and convince you of the futility of resistance, we will now eliminate an uninhabited location of your choosing." The world leaders quickly selected a remote island in the Pacific. What happened next shocked even the military observers. The alien ship fired a beam of pure energy, and the island simply ceased to exist. No explosion, no debris, just empty ocean where land had been moments before. But unknown to the aliens, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, humanity's real response was already beginning. General Adams activated the secure quantum communication network, connecting with hidden bases worldwide. Initiative Prometheus is now active. All personnel to battle stations. This is not a drill. In underground hangars across the globe, advanced fighters and warships, built using reverse-engineered alien technology from crashed ships, were being prepared. Weapons that combined human ingenuity with alien science were loaded and primed. Major Parker received his orders via encrypted channel. "Keep them talking. Buy us time. The defense grid needs 6 more hours." The next 12 hours were a careful dance of diplomacy. Earth's representatives asked questions, requested clarifications, and debated among themselves, all while the real preparations continued unseen. When the alien commander appeared again, his patience was clearly wearing thin. "Your time grows short. We detect no significant military activity. Your surrender seems inevitable." Parker smiled grimly. The aliens' arrogance would be their downfall. Their sensors, calibrated to detect their own technology, were blind to humanity's hybrid systems. In his private office, Parker looked at the old photograph on his desk. It showed his father standing next to a crashed alien ship in Roswell, 1947. For 3 generations, his family had helped prepare Earth for this day. The aliens thought they were dealing with primitives who had barely reached their moon. They had no idea that humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment. As the deadline approached, Parker received the message he'd been waiting for. The global defense grid was ready. Quantum shields were powered up. The hidden fleet was in position. The alien commander appeared one final time. "Your time has expired. What is your answer?" President Wilson stood tall, her voice firm. "We have an answer for you, Commander Reed. Humanity rejects your offer of surrender." "Then you choose extinction," the alien replied coldly. "Launch the first wave." As alien ships began moving into attack positions, Parker smiled. The aliens had fallen for humanity's greatest deception, appearing weak when they were strong. They were about to learn that humans were anything but primitive. He picked up his secure phone and spoke 5 words that would change galactic history forever. Execute Operation Rising Phoenix. Now, across the globe, humanity's hidden defenses powered up, ready to show the Galactic Council exactly how wrong they were about Earth's capabilities. The real battle was about to begin, and humanity was more than ready. The moment Operation Rising Phoenix activated, the world's oceans began to churn. Massive doors opened beneath the waves, and sleek warships rose from hidden underwater bases. In the skies, advanced fighters emerged from mountain hangars, their hulls gleaming with a technology that merged human innovation with alien science. Commander Reed watched in disbelief as his sensors suddenly detected thousands of new signatures. "Impossible," he muttered, his metallic features twisting in confusion. "Their technology level. This can't be right." Inside the Pentagon's command center, Major Parker watched the alien fleet's reaction with grim satisfaction. "Activate the quantum shields," he ordered. "Show them what Earth can really do." A shimmering barrier of energy materialized around every major city on Earth. The technology, reverse-engineered from the Roswell crash, had been perfected and enhanced by human scientists who understood something the aliens didn't: the power of thinking outside the box. The alien fleet launched their first attack, expecting an easy victory. Their energy weapons struck Earth's shields and dissipated harmlessly. Commander Reed's voice crackled over the communications channel, now showing the first signs of uncertainty. "This technology, you shouldn't have this. It's impossible." Parker keyed his microphone. "You made one crucial mistake, Commander. You assumed that because we didn't show our technology, we didn't have it. Humanity has been preparing for this day for over 70 years. The real surprise came when Earth launched its counterattack. Human fighters, smaller and more agile than their alien counterparts, demonstrated combat maneuvers that the Council's pilots had never seen before. Earth's ships were piloted by men and women who had grown up playing video games, whose minds could think in 3 dimensions naturally, who had been trained in combat simulators their entire lives. Deep in an underground base beneath the Himalayas, Dr. Miller, the lead scientist of Project Phoenix, monitored the battle data. Her team had combined Earth's best innovations with recovered alien tech, creating weapons that even the Council hadn't imagined. "They never considered that we might improve their technology," she said to her assistant. "Their arrogance made them stagnant." The alien fleet's formation began to break. Their ships, designed for fighting other Council vessels, struggled against Earth's unconventional tactics. Human pilots used the planet's gravity to slingshot their ships at impossible angles, executing maneuvers that the aliens' rigid training had never prepared them for. Commander Reed's voice came through again, this time with unmistakable anger. How did you hide all this?" Parker smiled as he watched another group of alien ships retreat from Earth's defenders. "Simple, Commander. We learned from history. Every time a technologically advanced civilization encountered a less advanced one on Earth, the more advanced civilization underestimated their opponents. We made sure you did the same." The battle continued in Earth's orbit. Human ships demonstrated weapons that combined conventional explosives with alien energy technology, creating hybrid weapons that could penetrate the Council's shields. The aliens had never considered such combinations possible. Their technological development had followed rigid, predictable paths for millennia. In the White House Situation Room, President Wilson watched the battle unfold. "Send the message," she ordered. "Let's show them what else we've been hiding." Across the solar system, hidden bases on Mars, Europa, and Titan revealed themselves. Humanity had already expanded beyond Earth, establishing secret colonies and defense installations throughout their solar system. The alien fleet found itself caught in a carefully planned trap, facing enemies from multiple directions. Commander Reed's flagship began to retreat. "This isn't over," he transmitted. "The Council will not stand for this deception." "It's not deception, Commander," Parker replied calmly. "It's strategy. And you've just discovered that humans are very, very good at it." As the alien fleet withdrew in disarray, celebrations broke out across Earth. But in the Pentagon's command center, Parker and his team knew this was just the beginning. The Galactic Council would return, but next time they would face a humanity that no longer needed to hide its strength. Dr. Miller's voice came over the comm system. "Major, we're ready to show them Phase 2 of our defenses. The Council has no idea what they've awakened." Parker nodded. Earth had won the first battle, but the real war was just beginning, and humanity had plenty more surprises in store for their would-be conquerors. The Galactic Council's emergency chamber buzzed with angry voices. Representatives from 100 alien species argued as holographic displays showed Earth's unexpected victory. Commander Reed stood in the center, his metallic skin dulled with embarrassment. "How could primitives defeat our finest fleet?" demanded the council leader, his multiple eyes glowing with rage. "This is unprecedented." While the council argued, Earth wasn't wasting time. Major Parker oversaw the deployment of humanity's next surprise, a network of quantum satellites designed to detect incoming wormhole signatures. They had learned from the first attack and wouldn't be caught off guard again. Dr. Miller worked with her team to analyze the data from the recent battle. Their ships followed predictable patterns, she explained to the military leaders. They'd been fighting the same way for thousands of years. They never adapted, never evolved their tactics. The council voted to launch a full-scale invasion. This time, they would send their entire third fleet, 10 times larger than the first attack force. Commander Reed was replaced by Admiral Steele, a veteran of 100 conquests who had never known defeat. "These humans have some stolen technology," Admiral Steele announced to his fleet, "but they are still primitive. We will crush them with overwhelming force." What the council didn't understand was that humanity had been practicing for this moment through decades of science fiction. Every possible alien invasion scenario had been imagined, written about, and planned for. The military had studied these stories, turning fiction into practical defense strategies. When the council's massive fleet emerged from wormhole space, Earth was ready. Instead of facing their enemies head-on, humanity employed guerrilla warfare tactics in space. Small, fast ships appeared from hidden asteroid bases, struck hard, and disappeared before the aliens could respond. Admiral Steele's frustration grew as his mighty fleet was picked apart by hit-and-run attacks. "Fight us properly," he demanded over the communication channels. "Face us in open battle." Major Parker's response was calm. "Admiral, in war, you don't fight the way your enemy wants you to fight. You fight to win." Earth's forces had another advantage. Their weapons and ships were piloted by individuals who thought independently. Council ships relied on rigid protocols and centralized commands. When Earth's forces disrupted their communication networks, the alien fleet fell into chaos. Dr. Miller unveiled humanity's latest weapon, swarms of tiny eye-controlled drones that could attach themselves to alien ships and disable their systems. The Council had never considered making weapons so small, believing that bigger always meant better. "Their shields are designed to stop energy weapons and large projectiles," Dr. Miller explained. They never thought to defend against something the size of an insect. The battle reached its turning point when Earth revealed its masterstroke. Hidden bases on Jupiter's moons activated massive gravity generators, creating artificial gravity wells that trapped portions of the alien fleet. Ships that had terrorized countless civilizations found themselves helpless, caught in gravitational fields they couldn't escape. Admiral Steele watched in horror as his fleet was systematically dismantled by an enemy he had dismissed as primitive. "Impossible. Your species was barely space-capable." "That's what you were meant to think," Parker replied. "We learned long ago that appearing weak when you are strong is the greatest tactical advantage." The Council's mighty Third Fleet began to retreat, but Earth wasn't finished. Human ships pursued the fleeing aliens, disabling their engines and communication systems. For the first time in its history, the Galactic Council had lost not just a battle, but an entire fleet. In the Pentagon's command center, President Wilson addressed the world. "Today, humanity has shown that we will not bow to tyranny, no matter where it comes from. The stars belong to everyone, not just those who discovered space travel first. As celebration broke out across Earth, Major Parker and Dr. Miller watched the last alien ships flee through their wormholes. They knew the Council would return, but each battle taught humanity more about their enemy's weaknesses. "They still think this is about technology," Dr. Miller said softly. "They don't understand that our real strength is our ability to adapt, to think differently, to never give up." Parker nodded. "And that's why we'll win this war. Not because we're stronger, but because we never stop learning, never stop improving." The stars shone brightly over Earth that night, no longer seeming like distant, unreachable points of light, but like beacons of humanity's future among them. On the edges of Council space, humanity launched its boldest move yet. Earth's ships, now armed with captured wormhole technology, appeared simultaneously at 12 different Council outposts. Major Parker led the attack on the largest installation, watching as the alien defenders scrambled to respond. "They still haven't figured it out," he said to his bridge crew. "They think we're just lucky primitives with stolen technology. They haven't realized we've surpassed them." The Council's response to Earth's counterattack was slow and disorganized. Their military had grown complacent after millennia of easy victories over less advanced civilizations. They had forgotten how to fight an enemy that could actually fight back. Dr. Miller's latest invention proved devastating. A virus that could infect the Council's quantum computers. Their entire network runs on the same basic code, she explained to Earth's military leadership. They never considered someone might hack it, because no one ever had before. Within hours, Earth's forces had captured 3 Council space stations and 2 shipyards. The Council's mighty defense grid, designed to stop traditional attacks, proved useless against Earth's unconventional warfare. In the Council's emergency chamber, panic spread as reports of Earth's victories poured in. "How are they beating our best defenses?" demanded one Council member. "Their civilization is barely 1,000 years old." Admiral Steele, who had survived the Third Fleet's destruction, spoke up. "We've underestimated them. They think differently than us. Everything we know about warfare, they ignore. Everything we consider impossible, they try anyway." Earth's forces discovered something interesting in the captured Council databases, records of other young civilizations that had been conquered and enslaved. President Wilson made a decisive choice. Send the data to every suppressed world. Show them that they can fight back. The Council's worst nightmare began to unfold. Inspired by Earth's example, other subjugated species began to rebel. Planets that had been under Council control for centuries suddenly erupted in revolution. Major Parker led a daring raid on a Council prison world, freeing thousands of political prisoners from different species. Many of them joined Earth's forces, bringing with them detailed knowledge of Council systems and tactics. The Council made one fundamental mistake, Parker told his new allies. They thought age equals wisdom. They forgot that youth brings innovation, creativity, and the courage to try new things. Dr. Miller worked with scientists from the liberated species, combining their knowledge with human ingenuity. Together, they created weapons that the Council had never imagined possible. Cross-species cooperation. She noted, something the Council actively discouraged, is proving to be our greatest strength. The Council's response was to gather their remaining fleets for one massive assault. They would crush Earth and make an example of humanity. But they had waited too long. Earth now had allies, technology, and most importantly, experience. In the largest space battle ever recorded, Earth's forces met the Council's armada near Alpha Centauri. The Council expected a traditional battle line. Instead, they faced a 3-dimensional chess game of strikes, feints, and ambushes. Admiral Steele watched in horror as his battle plans fell apart. Human ships moved in ways that defied conventional space combat doctrine. Their weapons combined technologies in ways the Council had never considered. And worst of all, they seemed to be enjoying the battle, adapting their tactics with almost gleeful creativity. "Your species is insane," he transmitted to Parker's flagship. "You're breaking every rule of space combat. Parker's response was simple. Rules are for games, Admiral. This is survival. The battle ended with the Council fleet in retreat, their formations shattered, their confidence broken. Earth's forces had proven that humanity wasn't just capable of defending itself. It could take the fight to the enemy and win. President Wilson addressed the Alliance of Liberated Species that evening. Today marks a new era in galactic history. No longer will age and tradition determine who rules the stars. Every species, young or old, has something to contribute. As the Council's power crumbled, Major Parker and Dr. Miller knew that the real work was just beginning. Humanity would help build a new galactic order, one based on cooperation and mutual respect rather than dominance and submission. Ready for the next phase? Dr. Miller asked. Parker nodded, looking at the star map showing humanity's growing sphere of influence. The Council thought they were the teachers. Time to show them what it means to be students again. The Great Council Chamber, once a symbol of absolute power, descended into chaos. Half the Council members had already fled, choosing to ally themselves with Earth and its growing coalition of freed worlds. Those who remained argued bitterly over their next move. "We must use the forbidden weapons," shouted Council Leader Max, slamming his crystalline fist on the ancient table. "Humanity has humiliated us for the last time." But even as the Council debated, Earth continued to change the rules of the game. Major Parker led a covert team deep into Council space, their mission unlike anything attempted before. They weren't there to fight. They were there to broadcast the truth. Using captured Council technology, Earth's forces began transmitting evidence of the Council's lies to every inhabited world in the galaxy. Records of suppressed technologies, proof of sabotaged civilizations, and documents showing how the Council had deliberately kept younger species from advancing. Dr. Miller's team had made another breakthrough. The Council's forbidden weapons aren't actually that dangerous to us, she explained to Earth's leadership. They're just advanced technology that the Council wanted to keep for themselves. The political earthquake that followed shook the galaxy. Hundreds of worlds that had fearfully obeyed the Council for centuries suddenly realized they had been deceived. The Council's power wasn't based on superior technology or wisdom. It was built on lies and manipulation. "Your civilization's youth is your strength," explained one defecting Council scientist to Dr. Miller. "You haven't been indoctrinated into believing in limitations. You simply try things we were taught were impossible." In the Council's secure bunker, Admiral Steele watched as his carefully ordered galaxy crumbled. "We should have destroyed Earth when we first found them," he growled. "Now they've infected the galaxy with their chaos." Major Parker's response, broadcast across all frequencies, was memorable. "It's not chaos, Admiral. It's evolution, something your Council forgot about long ago." Young species across the galaxy began sharing technology and ideas, following Earth's example. Advances that the Council had suppressed for centuries were suddenly being developed and improved upon. The galaxy was changing faster than ever before. President Wilson addressed an unprecedented gathering of representatives from over 1,000 worlds. "The age of suppression is over. No more will any species be told they're too young or too primitive to reach for the stars." The Council made one last desperate move. They activated their doomsday weapon, a device they claimed could destroy entire solar systems. They demanded Earth's immediate surrender. Dr. Miller studied the weapon's specifications and began to laugh. "Major, you need to see this. Their ultimate weapon. It's based on technology we improved upon months ago. They don't even realize how far behind they are now." The Council's threat backfired spectacularly. Earth didn't just neutralize their weapon. They revealed to the galaxy how simple it was to defend against it. The Council's last claim to superiority vanished like smoke. In a final ironic twist, younger species began offering to help modernize Council worlds. Many Council citizens, seeing how their civilization had stagnated, welcomed the change. "I never thought I'd live to see Council worlds asking us for technological advice," Parker said as he watched ships from Earth deliver advanced medical technology, to a former council stronghold. Dr. Miller smiled as she reviewed reports from her multi-species research team. They forgot the most basic law of nature: adapt or fade away. They chose to stop adapting thousands of years ago. We're just helping them start again. The remaining council hardliners faced a choice: adapt to the new galaxy or fade into irrelevance. Most chose to adapt, though some still clung to their beliefs in their own superiority. President Wilson's words to the galaxy became famous. Power doesn't belong to those who discovered things first. It belongs to those who continue to discover, to learn, and to share what they learn with others. As the old council chamber was transformed into a gallery celebrating innovation from all species, Major Parker and Dr. Miller watched the changing galaxy with pride. Humanity hadn't just defended itself, it had helped create something entirely new. Ready for whatever comes next? Dr. Miller asked. Parker nodded, watching ships from 100 worlds dock at Earth's new space station. Always. After all, that's what humanity does best: face the unknown and turn it into opportunity. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't a device of destruction, but rather something the Council had never imagined possible. Dr. Miller stood before the gathered representatives of Earth's alliance, ready to reveal what her team had been developing in secret. We've mastered quantum manipulation at a level the Council thought impossible, she announced, activating a holographic display. We can now alter the fundamental forces of space-time itself. Major Parker watched as the assembled aliens gasped at the demonstration. A small probe disappeared from one location and instantly reappeared at another, without using any form of conventional space travel or wormhole technology. The remaining Council loyalists, led by Admiral Steele, had gathered their forces for what they claimed would be their final stand. They had assembled their fleet at their last stronghold, believing their position to be impregnable. Let them come, Admiral Steele had declared. Their primitive minds cannot comprehend the defenses we've built over millennia. President Wilson gathered Earth's military command to discuss their response. We don't need to fight them, she said, smiling. We're going to show them why suppressing scientific advancement was their greatest mistake. Dr. Miller's team activated their quantum network. Across the galaxy, reality itself seemed to hiccup. The laws of physics that the Council had taken for granted for thousands of years suddenly became flexible. Impossible, screamed Admiral Steele as he watched Earth's ships simply phase through his supposedly impenetrable shields. This violates every law of physics. Major Parker's voice came through clear on all frequencies. No, Admiral. It only violates the laws of physics as you understand them. We've moved beyond those limitations. The demonstration was devastating. Earth's forces didn't fire a single shot. Instead, they simply neutralized every weapon in the Council fleet by altering the quantum states of their power sources. Mighty warships became nothing more than massive, floating containers of confused aliens. Your greatest weakness, Dr. Miller explained to the captured Council leaders, was believing you had nothing left to learn. Humanity never stops learning, never stops questioning, never accepts that anything is truly impossible. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Earth hadn't just defeated the Council, they had revolutionized the understanding of the universe itself. Species that had been bound by Council laws for millennia suddenly saw unlimited possibilities before them. We're not here to rule, President Wilson announced to the galaxy. We're here to explore, to learn, and to grow. And we invite everyone to join us. In the aftermath, even the most stubborn Council worlds had to acknowledge the new reality. Their technology, once considered the pinnacle of achievement, was now obsolete. Their understanding of the universe, which they had thought complete, was proved to be barely scratching the surface. Admiral Steele, standing in custody on Earth, watched ships using the new quantum drive technology zip effortlessly between stars. How? He asked Major Parker. How did you advance so quickly? Parker's answer was simple. Because we never believed we couldn't. Every time someone said something was impossible, we asked why not. Every limitation you accepted, we questioned. Dr. Miller's research facilities became centers of learning for species from across the galaxy. Young and old civilizations worked together, combining their knowledge and perspectives to push the boundaries of what was possible. The Council's greatest fear has become reality, one former Council scientist admitted. But it's not the chaos they predicted. It's progress, pure and simple. President Wilson signed the new Galactic Charter, establishing principles of free scientific exchange and cooperation between all species. The document's first line became famous across the stars. The only true law of the universe is that there is always more to learn. As the last Council stronghold transformed into a public science center, Major Parker and Dr. Miller stood watching the sunset on a newly peaceful galaxy. "Think they finally learned their lesson?" Parker asked. Dr. Miller smiled, holding up a device that bent light around itself. "They're starting to. But the real lesson isn't about technology or power. It's about staying curious, staying humble, and never assuming you know everything." The stars seemed brighter that night, as if celebrating the dawn of a new era, one where the pursuit of knowledge had replaced the pursuit of power, and where humanity's greatest victory had come not from destroying their enemies, but from showing them a better way. 5 years after Earth's revolutionary quantum breakthrough, the galaxy had transformed beyond recognition. The former Council chambers now housed the Galactic Science Academy, where beings from thousands of worlds came to learn and share knowledge. Major Parker, now Admiral Parker, stood at the Academy's observation deck, watching ships from across the galaxy arrive for the 5th Annual Innovation Summit. Each vessel represented a different approach to space travel, some using quantum drives, others experimenting with entirely new principles. "Remember when they called us primitives?" Dr. Miller asked, joining him at the window. Her team's latest project had successfully merged consciousness with quantum fields, opening up entirely new realms of exploration. President Wilson addressed the gathered representatives from over 10,000 worlds. 5 years ago, we faced extinction. Today, we face infinite possibilities. The difference: we stopped fighting each other and started learning from each other. Former Admiral Steele, who had chosen to stay on Earth as a cultural advisor, watched in amazement as species that had once been mortal enemies worked together on revolutionary projects. "We were wrong about everything," he admitted to Parker. "Strength doesn't come from control. It comes from cooperation." The greatest change wasn't in technology, but in attitude. Young civilizations were no longer held back, and older ones had rediscovered their sense of wonder. Earth had shown that age didn't determine worth. Actions and ideas did. Dr. Miller's latest presentation stunned even her colleagues. "We've discovered that consciousness itself can influence quantum states. The universe isn't just stranger than we imagined. It's stranger than we could have imagined." The former Council worlds, once centers of stagnation, became hubs of innovation. Their ancient archives, finally open to all, contained forgotten knowledge that, combined with new perspectives, led to astonishing breakthroughs. Humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy wasn't technology, Parker told a group of young aliens. It was the reminder that the universe is full of wonders and that anyone can discover them if they're brave enough to try. The new Galactic Alliance, built on Earth's principles of scientific freedom and cooperation, established outposts at the edge of known space. Their mission wasn't conquest, but exploration and discovery. President Wilson signed the final treaty that formally dissolved the last remnants of the Council system. In its place rose something new, a federation of equals, where age and origin meant less than contribution and creativity. "We could have sought revenge," she said during the ceremony. "Instead, we chose to build something better. That's humanity's true strength, not our ability to fight, but our ability to forgive and move forward." Dr. Miller's team made one final, stunning discovery. They proved that the universe itself was conscious in ways the Council had never imagined. This revelation united the galaxy in a shared sense of wonder and purpose. The Council thought they knew everything. she explained to an eager audience. We showed them that the greatest knowledge is understanding how much we still have to learn. Parker watched as ships departed for the unknown regions beyond the galaxy's edge. Each carried crews made up of multiple species, all working together, all eager to explore. The former council leader, now a teacher at the academy, summed it up best. We thought we were the pinnacle of evolution. Earth showed us we were just the beginning. As the galaxy entered a new age of discovery and cooperation, humanity found itself not at the top of a hierarchy, but at the heart of a network. Their gift hadn't been dominance, but liberation, showing every species that the only true limits were the ones they accepted. What's next? Parker asked Dr. Miller as they watched a ship test, a new form of instantaneous travel. She smiled, holding up a device that seemed to bend reality itself. Everything. Anything. The universe is infinite, and now, finally, we're ready to explore it together. The stars no longer seemed distant or threatening. They were beacons, inviting all species to discover their secrets. Earth's greatest victory hadn't been defeating the Council. It had been awakening the galaxy to its true potential. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of space, new civilizations were emerging, ready to join a galaxy that would welcome them not as servants or subjects, but as equals in the greatest adventure of all, the endless quest for knowledge and understanding. The end.